Like I see where you're.
Something so upsetting about you keeping Justin Timberlake in the same room.
I mean, he's the closest thing. He's the closest thing to that kind of like mega stardom after a boy band.
Except Justin Timberlake didn't write his own songs.
He wrote a good portion.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, Harry co-writes.
I'm sure he co-wrote with like Timberland and stuff, but he wrote most of his stuff.
I was actually just looked up like which songs Harry's written, and like most of his albums come up there, but I do believe there's a couple songs on there that he didn't write on his own. Or like at all.
The thing I always feel so iffy about like writing credits, specifically with artists, because people are always like, "Oh, but all of their songs are co-written." It's like that could be
just full disclosure on that. Like anytime if
that could be one word,
right? If you contributed a word, if you were just even in the session when the song was being recorded, you can get producer credits.
Like you can't really.
I mean, I feel like it's also important to note, like not just Harry's style, like Harry's songs, like and on his albums, but like his involvement in other people's songs, I think is also very interesting.
He has written like songs. During One Direction, he would write songs
really
for other
enjoy
people.
Same thing for JT.
I really enjoy seeing artists who are specifically in their own, like either they're in a group or they are on their own and they write their music or are involved in the writing all of their music. Whether it's just alone or whether it's with other people, but also them writing music for other people, like just other artists completely that they will never, ever. They probably had like the demo version of it of like, this is how I think it would sound. And then the artist goes in and goes, all right, well, I'm going to make it sound like that. And it's like, cool. I also find that really interesting. And I really like that Harry Styles does that because a lot of the people I do appreciate, I've grown to
like him more as he makes more music.
Yeah.
Because at first I'm always hypercritical of people coming out of boy bands or just in general, pop artists in general. I'm very apprehensive, but I will get on board 100% the moment that I'm like, yeah, I get it. I get what this is. I get what it's for. And I'm like, even if it's not for me, I'm like, this is great. Like when Lord came out, I'm like, I understand this all day. I'm a fan. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I've appreciated him more as I see more of his musical influences. I'm like, I fucks with you. I fucks with you. I probably won't ever go to a show or whatever, but like I can appreciate the pop appeal, you know, and things like that. And the same thing with JT. Like I don't think I'd ever go to a JT show, but I appreciate looking back on it. Speaking of terms of like shaping pop music, I mean like that's shaping pop music, you know. And a lot of people like maybe to some people, JT hasn't aged well, but he really did shape pop music for a good minute. Like Future Sex Love Sound was what everybody was trying to emulate.
I think for sure JT is definitely somebody who has influenced the music industry in a lot of different ways. Just like the way he popped off, the way he collaborated with people, the way he just kind of did.
Well, his formula's solid. I mean, Timberland and Pharrell. I mean, you can't really go wrong there. And then him, you know, he's got a good voice. Like he's got a really interesting voice that you're like, all right, this is fun to listen to. In there, you know. So I mean,
like,
it works out. But yeah,
Strawberry
I think that's
Bubblegum. Let's go. Tunnel Vision. Love it. I actually really like
that girl.
That girl. I'm in love with that girl. That girl.
It's like
anyways,
what else is single Justin Timberlake song if I wanted to.
I actually like Justin Timberlake.
You probably just know like "Sexy Back" and stuff or something like that.
That's it, and that's all I need to know.
Yeah. I have a wide variety of artists that I like
pop music. So I love pop music.
You just don't fuck with JT.
Well, he hasn't actually come out with any music in a really long time.
Well, he came out with "Man in the Woods," but even then, it just doesn't hit the same as before.
Because I listened to
the single from there was with Chris Stapleton.
Ew,
it wasn't bad. But it also was. There's actually a song, and again, I listen to pop music very differently because like there's some like on the Harry Styles record, the new one. My favorite songs are the ones where there's like jam breaks. Because as a musician, and I'm like, man, I really fuck with this song. In the same way that like when "Man in the Woods" came out, it's probably his least. I
don't think that he had a song that popped off of it because.
But there's a song on there that fucking jams, and I'm like, man, I play this song for. There's like a harmonica solo and shit, and I'm like, yo, this fucking song bops. So yeah, I will give it like the whole. I will give the listen to the whole thing because I'm just like trying to figure out where they are.
As a person who listens to the music before they listen to the lyrics myself. I have pretty good appreciation for people who like to like stylistically change a lot. Like the songs don't necessarily sound the same whenever you're listening to the album. They have like a general vibe, but like I could tell that there was different things included in there. And then since I usually listen to the actual lyrics last, like I don't actually pay attention to the lyrics at all. I don't pay attention to really much of a lot of what it says until somebody mentions to me, it's like, hey, by the way, there's like a double entendre on here. And I was like, there is? Let me see.
I'm lyrics
and you're
first.
like that. You are like lyrics. Let me see. What are you saying?
I'm lyrics first.
What are you implying? Like for instance, for one of my favorite John Mayer songs, I didn't notice until maybe like the 50th, 100th time that I listened to it, that it was talking about, it was, I don't even know the song name. I just know it. It's just the song that says, you know, we could be on like our third baby number 3 or something that. And I was like, hey, what's he talking about? And like until then, but like I just genuinely like the song beforehand, and it's very interesting.
Yeah, no, I'm lyrics first.
You are.
And I'm music second. And then, but they both kind of have like the equal amount of gravity. I will like a song if the lyrics don't hit, if the music is really good. And I will like a song if the lyrics are really good and the music's not all that. And if you have both, then you've got me
like
sold.
Paramore's song?
Huh?
Like Paramore's song?
That some Paramore songs go hard.
Well, there's like that one particular song that you were like, Paramore.
Oh, yeah. Tell me how.
Yeah, tell me how that you were like, this.
Yo, like, Hayley Williams killed those lyrics. Or whoever wrote that song. I don't know if it's just her because it's a collaboration with the band or whatever. But that fucking song...
Like the
it's on the After Laughter album.
Yeah, like you keep me up with your silence.
Man, it's the last song. It's what they close it with. Shit.
Paramore can do no wrong.
Fuck
we love Paramore.
me. I was so surprised. And then just her saying, of all the weapons you fight with, your silence is the most violent. Yeah. I was like, yo, y'all gotta. I rewinded the whole thing, the whole album. I was like, the whole thing. I gotta listen to it again because I just like whatever this is. I gotta put it in context with everything that she's saying. Yeah. So it's that kind of shit that I'm talking about, like the power of it. I was really impressed. I have been really impressed with just Harry Styles' progression throughout music, just because. I really wasn't a big fan. I really was a big critic of him because, you know, the typical, like, you know, pretty boy, not really a musician, kind of like coming in and trying to, and everybody had this like big hype about him. So I wasn't sold off the beginning, but as time has kept going, like I'm a fan. I like his work and I like what he's doing. I think overall he can probably keep having some great music come along, and I actually don't think that he's made his best work yet. So that'll be exciting, you know? Like in the same way that I know that Juliet was mad about the fact that I kept comparing JT to Harry, but in the way that like JT had Future Sex Love Sounds and then 2020 Experience, and they were like big monumental things for him, I don't think Harry Styles has made his 2020 Experience or his Future Sex Love Sounds. I think he still has the potential of pulling that off. So that's kind of exciting because he's really doing a fucking phenomenal job. So keep it up.